Well, hello everybody. Thank you guys for coming out on a Wednesday evening. Hi, Karen. It's good to see you again. So we have a special treat. You know, Dr. Kim is Jenelle Kim is she's such a dear friend of mine, and we've been doing this for a long time, and we were I was blessed to be asked to be a part of a of the founding or the reintroduction, I guess, introducing the world to hemp derived CBD. I guess that's probably pretty accurate. And so, uh, Dr. Kim and I got to work together, and it was such a special time. And we've maintained a friendship with her and her husband Craig and myself, and they always reach out to me, and I reach out to them. Throughout the years, just checking on everybody and seeing how everybody is. It's nothing to do with business, just to do with friendship. And so, when they made the decision to come on and join the Hülsa family as not only the chief formulator and educator, but as partners in the business, I just knew it was going to be so special. And as we continue to, educate, she educates us on our current products that we have. And then also as we continue to introduce new products that are amazing, that are changing lives, not only in this country, but I believe soon around the world. And so without any further ado, you don't need to hear from me anymore. Dr. Jenelle Kim.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's nice to see you all. All right, it's wonderful to be here. Let me share my screen now so we don't get cut off. So just give me one moment. All right, and there we are. Nice. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful day. It's always so wonderful to spend this time and to share about our amazing formulations. So we started several weeks ago now, and we have gone over all of the Hülsa products so far. And today we're actually going to cover the last of the Hülsa products at this very moment of time, of course. So I can't say too much, but we have a lot more coming. For those of you who do not know me, whether you're here live or on a recording, my name is Dr. Jenelle Kim, and I come from a long lineage of doctors and herbologists. I always love to start, maybe for my own self, to be honest, but I do believe that everyone likes to share in this understanding that I come from a long lineage of doctors and herbologists who I say dedicated their entire lives to understanding the human mind and body. And they did so, and they also perfected the understanding of herbal medicine, plant-based medicine, which is pretty much where all medicine comes from in some way, shape, or form. And they did this for one reason, so that we can live our best lives possible. And I take that beyond seriously. That is certainly my mission and purpose in this life. While I know that it's very important to create a reality in this world, by having some kind of success to take care of our loved ones, I stand firmly in the fact that I can never do anything without purpose, without knowing that one day when I'm no longer on this earth, I've done something good for the universe, something good for this world. And already, when I have these moments with all of you, it's a really beautiful thing because I know that we're on this journey together. One of the reasons I've kind of shared over the last few weeks, but one of the reasons I decided, myself and my lab, JBK Wellness Labs, why I decided to come together with Hülsa and become their chief formulator, become their chief educator, and to work with this incredible team is, well, first, they are really an incredible team. They're an incredible team of human beings who really care about doing something important in this world, who really care about really having people understand wellness. That is why it is Hülsa Wellness, your way, which I'll explain that in just a second here. That meant a lot to me. We work with a lot of different companies, a lot of different brands, and so we see a lot of things. I'm very grateful because we put that out into the world, that we look for people who care and have purpose. And quite frankly, we don't really like to work with anyone who doesn't have that in some way, shape, or form. And certainly it has happened that the universe brings that to you. And that's exactly what happened with this Hülsa team. They are people who are experts in their field. And I think that's really important because they have truly had their expertise in so many different aspects of what makes Hülsa what it is today. And so we all kind of came together and realized that if we take our expertise and truly put our minds together and our hearts together, most importantly, that we would create something so incredible. And that is what Hülsa is, to me at least. And so I did want to share that with all of you. As I said, it is Hülsa Wellness. And I think that's a really important piece too. And one of the reasons why I felt compelled to join this journey, this adventure, this purpose. I say that because wellness can incorporate so many different things, right? So it's mind and body, but also when it comes to formulation. Any of you who know me, I travel around the world. I speak all of the time on understanding the importance of herbal medicine, of course, but also the synergy of ingredients and formulations. I've been involved in the beauty and wellness industry for 20 years, probably a little over that now. I've been at the forefront of the natural products industry, the forefront of herbal products, the forefront of the cannabinoid industry. And so I'm not afraid to take certain challenges on. And this actually doesn't even necessarily feel like a challenge because I feel like more than ever the world is ready. And I think that's a really important piece to kind of absorb there for a second. And so one other piece I want to just talk about before we jump in tonight is that when we talk about health, wellness, Hülsa wellness, of course, cannabinoids and the incredible hemp plant, which I talk about for so many years with such purpose, because I really want people to understand properly how far back this incredible ingredient goes in Eastern medicine alone and other ancient medicines. It is such a significant ingredient, and I stand by that. And that certainly is a very key part of what Hülsa is. But the beautiful thing about Hülsa is they're called Hülsa Wellness because they look for something always the very best and always the deepest when it comes to your health and your wellness. And so while cannabinoids are certainly will always be such an important piece, the beautiful thing that I really appreciate about Hülsa is they really see the importance of other ingredients out there as well. I say other, but I mean powerful ingredients, because I was just on a podcast this morning and talking about this, and I feel like everyone's getting it that much more, and I'm so grateful and happy for that. You can have the best ingredient in the world, but to have the best formulas in the world, you have to know how to formulate. You have to know how to have the synergy between those ingredients, because that's how you make a formula that your body wants, right? Ultimately, you can have the best thing in the world, but it doesn't, if your body doesn't want it, doesn't absorb it, and then it doesn't get processed properly, it does no good for you. And sometimes it can actually be harmful. And so that's something you'll hear me say time and time again. It's something I remind myself of all the time, because that's one of the keys to health and wellness. And so that's something that's really important to Hülsa. And I'm really, really looking forward to and excited to show you all the formulas and products that are going to start to unfold, because they take all of this into consideration. It's all done with purpose. So while cannabinoids certainly lead the way here with us for good reason, and I stand behind that, you're going to see a lot of synergistic ingredients with these ingredients in our formulations that really make for health and wellness from the inside out. And having said that, we have gone through a lot of our formulas over the past couple of weeks. And as you see, these kind of core or starter products for the Hülsa collection touches on that aspect. It's inside and out, because that is how true beauty and wellness, that's how you attain it, right? You have to go inside and out with proper formulations. So when I first began this series, there you go. When I first began this series, I went over a lot of the information that I'm going to go over tonight, because it is very important. Tonight, I kind of want to make it a little bit more of a summary. And I certainly do a slide and presentation no-no, which is where I put a lot more information on the screen, as you will see tonight, than I normally would. But the purpose behind why I'm doing this is because I think it might be very helpful, as I know this can be used as a tool as you go out, into the world and start to share all of this. My purpose is to have some of this information in a little bit more of a detailed manner, but also simplified, because I am such a proponent of making things simple enough for people to understand. In this world where there's so much information and things can be a bit overwhelming, it's really comforting, I have seen people, patients, just as a human being, to know, what, that really makes sense to me. And that's what I really hope we all continue to do together for ourselves and for the people that we, share these formulas with. So having said that, I want to start on the endocannabinoid system. So we'll go over the endocannabinoid system. We'll go over endocannabinoids. We'll go over phytocannabinoids. And then we will go over our last product, the amazing chill pill mint. Okay. So that's just a little summary of our summary. So the endocannabinoid or endocannabinoid system, you can say it either way. I like to mix it up. I do that often, right? Just like the herb names in Chinese, you hear a million different ways. It makes this flow, right? So the endocannabinoid system, what is it exactly? As you can see here, and I love this visual in this image right on the screen, is you see the whole body is involved, right? And you can clearly, even with a quick glance, see that all of the incredible systems in your body are involved. And this is a really important thing, because all of a sudden in our lifetime, we have started to understand and named this incredible system that is part of our body. and helps to keep balance and homeostasis, which we'll go into in just a second here. And that is so incredibly important, something I've been talking about for years, something that the ancient medical systems, whether it be Eastern medicine, Ayurvedic, Western, certainly, all are built upon in some way, shape, or form. Okay, and so ultimately, we have our circulatory system, our respiratory, skeletal, digestive system. We're familiar with all these systems that work together, right? And that's what helps to keep us alive. All those have to function. And this is, in fact, another one of those systems, as I said, that they have basically come to research and develop and coin during our lifetime, which is pretty significant. So, in short, it is the primary regulatory network that is responsible for the creation and breakdown of cannabinoids. So why is that important, right? And that's obviously what we've talked about for many weeks and what we will continue to talk about today. This system is comprised, as you can see, it's throughout your body, as I mentioned, but it's comprised, or it consists of a series of receptors within your body. There's CB1, which occur primarily in the brain, okay? And then there's CB2, which are present throughout our entire central nervous systems, organs, and tissues. So pretty much that covers everything, right? And one way of looking at it. It is often referred to as the bridge between the mind and the body. I mean, what a beautiful thing. You know, I am a huge proponent of Eastern and Western, you know, old and new. To me, the greatest doctors, the greatest practitioners look at everything that's around them to make sure that their patient is as healthy as possible. And I like to take that even a step further and say that one of my most favorite things, one of the things that I am so compelled to do is to do my very best to empower each one of us as individuals to also know that, to see all the options around us, to educate ourselves enough to understand when to use one, when to use another, right? When to do, when not to do, right? And so this is a beautiful thing though, because how often do we hear about, especially in Western and more modern medicine, do we hear about the bridge between the mind and body, right? That's certainly coming out more and more with the integration of medicine. And I'm so grateful for that. Everyone's starting to work together, which is the way it should be. But that is a really important piece, especially during times, as we certainly have just seen, where certain stressors come into our life. And in the last few months, we've all kind of been in it together. That's another really significant thing, where we see how much certain stressors can certainly affect our health, and the opposite, right? So if our health, if our physical body is off balance, it can affect mental and vice versa. And that's really key. And through the endocannabinoid system, we're able to understand that in a whole other way. And it's that much more tangible for us to kind of process in our minds. And so that bridge basically helps to regulate all of your key physiological and cognitive functions. And of course, the other mental aspect of why it's so important to maintain a balance, right? And so basically, as you can see, like I said, it kind of covers everything. So it works to regulate everything from pain sensations to your immune system, to memory, to inflammation, of course, your appetite, mood, your metabolism. I mean, you name it, because we're talking about a system that kind of creates balance among all parts of your body. So that's pretty huge. So why is it important? After looking at that and understanding the kind of the fundamental of why we have this system, why it's important to understand this system. So why is it important now to make sure that we feed this system properly, right? Because if we have deficiencies, it clearly sounds to me after this, even these last couple of minutes, that something's going to go amiss, right? So it is important to feed our endocannabinoid system. Because by way of, so let me start here. I get excited about this. Why is it so important? Because when we feed ourselves things that are truly good for us, nourishing to us, and that's why I always talk about that synergy of ingredients and the proper formulas. When we're able to give our body what it needs, it starts to function properly, right? That's the beautiful thing about our body. We hear this often. Our body is the most wise, it's the most intelligent, it's miraculous. It can heal itself. It can basically, it's just something that really, if you think about how we live every single day and the things that we come across, that it keeps on functioning and moving. And so to me, it always comes down to whatever you put into your body or on your body, let's help it. Let's encourage it. Let's give it all the room to be able to function properly. And that's why this is key. So we can do so, one way to do so is by way of incorporating the phytocannabinoids into our system. So I said endocannabinoids is what our body produces on its own naturally, okay? But phytocannabinoids are certain materials from plants, right, that create the cannabinoids that we're going to go over here in just a couple of minutes. And that is ultimately how we can feed and nourish our endocannabinoid system, which goes back a minute ago. That's what keeps everything in balance, right? So if we feed and nourish it, all of a sudden now our entire system is starting to have homeostasis and function properly. Because remember, when everything functions properly, that's the fountain of youth. You know, when people come to me and say, Dr. Kim, how do I stay young forever? How do I look good? How do I feel good? What is the secret? And the secret is, so long as you're able to make your body function by nourishing it, by creating proper flow, so everything's circulating properly, that's the key, right? And the third part is that we are able to eliminate, and that's part of the function, but we're eliminate all of the toxins within our body. So it's a nourishing flow and detoxifying process. And if we're able to continuously do that through the things that we ingest, different supplements, nutraceuticals, through the skincare, topicals that we use, then ultimately we are creating a certain lifestyle for our mind and body that we can just have longevity. And that to me is the ultimate goal. And it should be all of our ultimate goal. So the importance of phytocannabinoids, I kind of already started, but just a quick overview. So remember, cannabinoids are compounds that influence the cannabinoid receptors that we went over in the human body, which equals the endocannabinoid system, or you'll sometimes see ECS. Our body actually produces, as I just said, endocannabinoids naturally, okay? And those interact with our receptors, CB1 and CB2, and ultimately that's what helps to regulate all of the functions within your body. That's why this is huge. I already went over pain, memory, appetite, mood, sleep, you name it, okay? And so I already said that phytocannabinoids, of course, are what we get naturally, what we find in plants, including hemp. And that's why this was unbelievable and why we've seen this CBD and hemp industry grow so rapidly. To me, it would not be growing at the rate that it was growing and lasting as it is and will continue to if it didn't work, if there weren't results and if they weren't effective. I often say that. Why did Bebong formulas, the formulas in my lineage, why have they lasted for so many centuries? I always say the most important thing is they work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. I know better, right? It works. So the important cannabinoids, as I have gone over before, but again, this is a little bit more of a shortened version for all of you, is we have CBD, of course, right? This is like the known cannabinoid, our superstar, if you will, for the last few years, and it certainly will hold its place. So unlike THC, it is non-psychoactive, which is very important to many, many people, right? So you get all of the amazing benefits, but you don't necessarily have to have the mind-altering state to do so. It is known to have significant calming effects, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. When I go and speak around the world, whether it's at a spa trade show, whether it's at a health convention, when I do present this incredible cannabinoid, I do say I break it down to 3 things, right? So anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and very nourishing. In this case, it can be calming. Nourishing can mean many different things, but nourishing our body in that way. So those are the 3 really important key points of CBD. Then we have CBN. This is one that's very, very important and one that we certainly have in our sleep formula, which is vital. And CBN was actually, interestingly, the first cannabinoid isolated by scientists. So it's a really important one in the history of, where we stand today. So as I said, it's known for sleep. It has been studied extensively as a helpful compound for sleep. In fact, scientists have discovered that it acts just as powerful as a sedative, even when you compare it to other well-known sleep medications out there. But the difference is you don't have all of the side effects that many, many people will feel from taking those medications. And that certainly isn't a secret. I think that's pretty well known. Studies have also shown that it's really good for bone and tissue growth, right? Bone tissue growth, which is vitally important for us. And it's also known to have very powerful anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties. So it helps to kind of calm the feeling and discomfort of pain while being an anti-inflammatory. So that's pretty key. Then we have CBG, which is the mother of all cannabinoids. And what that means is it's the precursor to other cannabinoids. So without CBG, the other ones can't even be. Exactly, I said it. So that's a pretty key thing. And so when you start to understand Hülsa's critical cannabinoid blend, I hope that this makes it even more clear of why that critical cannabinoid blend is so incredibly important. Because when you have all of these cannabinoids together, that's what creates the synergy. Just as I was talking about the formulas and how it's so important to put different ingredients together to give you the formula that you're looking for, right? It's so important that, and many people who do understand hemp and cannabinoids do understand this part, that when you have different cannabinoids all together, they work synergistically, which means that you have greater effects when they're all together than if they're alone. Okay, and that's a principle of herbal medicine that's gone back thousands of years. So again, I'm so happy that we're able to talk about these concepts, these principles in different ways that hopefully really make a lot of sense to everyone. So CBG, like I said, the precursor to other cannabinoids, research shows that it can really help brain cells. So it's very good at helping to stimulate our brain cells, which is very important, and actually a really huge thing that's coming into our world on a wave. And don't think that we are not going to be right at the front of that, but the understanding of taking different dietary supplements, nutraceuticals that really help the function of our brain, right? And that is really important for our wellness and our health overall. Interestingly, CBG has a more lively and upbeat effect. So this is interesting, right? Because a lot of the other cannabinoids, for example, CBN, will be more calming. So it kind of puts your body, at a very calm state. And CBG, this doesn't mean that it's like taking an espresso shot, right? But it does have a little bit more by nature of an uplifting and lively effect. So when you, again, that synergism and that entourage effect that occurs when you put everything together, right, that means that it creates that much more of a balance when you're taking formulas that have all of these cannabinoids. So now if you do get a little sleepy, let's say, I'm just not particularly with any product, but say you're someone who CBD, if you take a little bit too much, I might feel a little bit, because it's powerful, like a little too calm. Now you start to create this beautiful blend of cannabinoids, such as the critical cannabinoid blend. And now you have all of these working together. So it creates that much more of a balance when you're taking the formula or putting it on your skin. So CBG is also known to increase dopamine levels. This is pretty huge, right? So that helps with sleep, mood, and appetite. Okay, all very important things that I feel like I hear more than ever right now, that there's imbalances that occur on all of these three fronts, if you will: sleep, mood, and appetite. Okay, so it has a big effect when it comes to those things. And it has strong antibacterial properties, very important when it's used in topical products as well as internally. Okay, it's also known to be really good for eye health, which is something that we don't always think about, but how many times I've seen my patients, human beings, people who, as they age, that's something that definitely gets affected. And it's not something you really think about until sometimes it's a little bit too late, but it's really important to maintain the health of your eyes as well. And then finally, CBC, which is known to be a very strong anti-inflammatory cannabinoid, right? So it has strong anti-inflammatory properties. This is also well known, similar to what I was saying. When you use CBC, it's well known for working synergistically used with other cannabinoids. And that is what creates the entourage effect, which is our theme of this slide. It makes everything more effective, right? And I keep saying anti-inflammatory. That's really key. I say this a lot, and it's very important because understand when your body's in inflammation, I think this is something that a lot of people are becoming more and more aware of. It means it's not functioning properly. And that goes back to the beginning of our conversation. So it's really important to make sure that our body is functioning, isn't inflamed, so things start to get stagnant or not working properly, because that is what leads to a downgrade in our health. Okay. And so finally, here we are, our chill pill, right? And so this is such an awesome product because it's so easy to take at any time throughout the day. Okay, it is very powerful. In fact, I know someone who took two, and they're much more sensitive at one time. And they said, wow, I feel so relaxed right now. And I thought, okay, good. And I watched them. They were still able to function on point, but it's that effective that you can feel it pretty quickly, right? And that is because it's a quick way that we ingest it, by ingesting. So that is why you can feel it pretty quickly, just like our capsules, for example. This might be even a little bit more because it starts to melt in your mouth, which is an important key of how to take it. I don't even think I have this written, but when you start to, it basically goes through your oral membranes and it can digest or absorb into your body rather that much quicker. So this is another reason why this is a pretty key product formula. So Say hello to a more chill version of you. I kept that because I just like these phrases that we put down in our product guide and on our videos, because it just, you feel it immediately. Yes, this is exactly right. I definitely want to be a more chill version of myself. Who doesn't want to be, right? So what do these mints do? They help us to alleviate feelings of stress and promote calm. And my goodness, who doesn't want that? And it helps you to, I like this, and I kept this here from our writing. It helps you to live in the current moment, which is what I find myself talking about so very often, so that we can be present, right? We hear this all the time, but when we really think about that, how important that is. And oftentimes we can't be present because we feel so much stress. There's so much in our mind. We're not able to calm our mind and body. There's many different things that we can do to help ourselves, and we need to know all of them, whether it be breathing exercises, of course, eating properly, but how awesome that we can have such a great support system where we can have this little mint that we can put into our mouth, and it already starts to help balance our body based on everything we just talked about. And that is pretty awesome, if I may say so myself. So the mint, of course, is scientifically formulated with the critical cannabinoid blend that I had just went over. It's very easy to take with you, which is one of the reasons I like the mint so much. And it really helps to just kind of keep that, and you'll know your body. My favorite thing, as I kind of mentioned before, is know your body, be aware of yourself. So take one, see how you feel. And same thing with any skincare we have, same thing with our capsules, certainly follow the directions, but get to know yourself, pay attention, what feels good. You'll start to see too, when I'm a little more tired, this is what I want to do. When I feel really awake, this is what I want to do. And this is how you start to incorporate the products very accurately throughout your whole life. And certainly I will be here, and the whole Hülsa team, to kind of guide through. Also by way of just the directions, we've thought through this stuff. So as I said, it has the critical cannabinoid blend, which includes CBD, CBN, CBG, and CBC. And it's very important to understand that each one contains 10 milligrams of the critical cannabinoids CBD. Okay, which means, and there's 30 mints per container. So that's nice to know, right? Then how to use, I kind of already went over that, but you basically put one into your mouth as needed throughout the day or the night. You really can have it at any time, whenever you feel that it's needed. And like I said, you place it on your tongue and you let it dissolve in the mouth. And that is a much quicker way to get it into your system, as I said. And so that's why people find this to be very effective, because it is a much more bioavailable, quick delivery system to get into your body. And that is our last product for now. So it's always wonderful to be able to share all of this with you. I'm so grateful to be on this journey, and I cannot wait to see all that we have to come, probably very soon. Right, Joe, Jeff? Thank you, everyone.
Great job, Dr. Kim.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Dr. Kim, when I first got the product, of course, the first thing that you notice when you open the box is the beautiful packaging. And
yes,
I remember sitting in your office when you looked at it, and I saw your eyes like, you guys care,
Yes.
this is packaged really well. But I was talking to David Burke. He goes, "What do you think?" "Oh, it's packaged so." And I said, "Oh, look, they have these cute little mints." And that's kind of what I thought. And then I tried them.
Right, exactly.
Wow, these are good. And then we started getting testimonies that were so crazy. I'm like, you can't say that. I mean, so they're powerful. They really are.
You saying that, Jeff. I kind of mentioned that, but I didn't want to go too far. I do love the testimonials, and everyone should try it for themselves. But certainly they're very effective. And yes, I don't always talk about the packaging. And to me, coming from the beauty industry and the spa industry, that is so key. And let me tell you, that is one of the many things that the team at Hülsa, really cares about. Even the package, you wouldn't even believe. Like I said, I speak to a lot of brands, and all of your high-end spas, your Nordstroms, your Neiman Marcus's, your CVS's, Whole Foods, you name it. And you don't always see people care so much about every single detail, and the Hülsa team definitely does. So
yeah, it is. I remember you saying that. I know branding. I know how important that is, and most people don't get it. And so that was, of course, that was Josh Ginsburg, right? To start smiling. He's the guy all over the brand. It's so funny with these little chill pills, because David and I used to tag team, and he do the products and I do the compensation plan. And so I have these at my desk. And so, we was listening to David, I popped one in, and a couple of times, like, man, it's almost like you get so chill. And usually I try to keep my energy level up with a comp plan. I said, I can't take those before I get to show the comp plan.
I was kind of saying, they definitely.
I'm just like slouching in my chair. It's not THC, guys. So
no. But that's pretty awesome. I know.
Wonderful job tonight. As always, you do such a great job. You are we are so blessed to have you
Mhm.
leading this company with the products, because those who know you know your integrity, and that you would never, ever release a product that was inferior, or that wasn't absolutely the best product that it could be. And so we're blessed to have you leading the church, because I know as that starts to get out there and other people start to experience the products and they start to go, wow, these are making a difference in my life. And that's really where the rubber meets the road. It's
Yes.
products that are going to touch people's lives, change their lives in a positive way, and make a difference. And so you do an awesome job. I love you, and you do
I appreciate
great,
that very
great.
much.
I'm excited.
I'm grateful to be here. So thank you for that.
So I want to thank everybody. Dr. Kim, awesome. Thank you very much. God
Thank you.
bless you, everybody. And we
Wonderful
will
to see
see
you
the
all.
ladies tomorrow night. Everybody else have a blessed weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Nice. Bye, everyone.